Okay, students, we're back, and we've been working on a bunch of different mannequins, and right now, what I've got the crappiest mannequin ever on here, trying to use these up. These are some that I traded with my students for some other better mannequins that I had, but they've worked out really great to just kind of get to the tail end of this, and then I'm going to actually show you how these come off when I get done with this haircut. But what we did on this mannequin, and I don't know whether you can see it or not, I hope that you can, but here's the line, and it goes down into the nape. That's part of a tapered haircut. And you look around, you'll see it on guys, you'll see it on young guys, you'll see it on little boys, you'll see it on, the majority may be older gentlemen that you'll see it on. But this is the area of starting a taper haircut. I've got several mannequins that I'm going to show you right now, and I'm just going to quickly run through this. So I'm going to do this again. Again, the flat part of the head, come in, and you're carving exactly, remember when we did it with the shear? We come this way, now we go the opposite way. So I'm just going to put the comb there, pull it up, and actually I'm not even going to bother with the comb. I'm just going to take the clipper and take it up. And you notice that I'm bracing. It's just, it needs to be a habit for you to brace. And I'm going to keep taking it as close, and I could take it a whole lot closer. I mean, I could take it to the skin if I had to. But I'm practicing this for you. So you see, I'm following the exact same line. I'm going to put this down on 0. I had it on the, where it was on like the 1. But you can see my other styrofoam mannequin underneath, but you see I'm following the exact same line. It hasn't changed. I'm holding my clipper at this angle on the head form. Do you see it? It's not flat, it's at an angle because I want length as it travels up. The shorter hair is going to be at pretty much the perimeter line. Now, you see we have created, again, which is not different, and here, look at this, that little corner that's going to come out because of this corner. So there's your whys on that. So I'm going to turn the mannequin around this way, and I'm going to take it over, and see if you know exactly where the nape line is at. It's not going to matter what direction you go into. It's the same thing. It doesn't change. And I'm ending up in the same spot pretty much. Take it up a little higher. And remember, now see, this is where you can make your mistakes, so you have to be careful. We stay low here and then we travel up. Now I could have kept going in this form, and that's not going to help it. Parietal line to tip of the ear. So now I'm going to travel up a little bit. I'm going to bring this hair down a bit. Take that off, so we continue on with our taper. And get rid of that, round this out, follow that around. And again, what do we have? We have a corner right at the center back. Now we're going to pick that up, cut it straight across. Now I'm at an angle, so I could be off a little bit, and I think I'm off a little bit on this side because of having to contort my body. But just know, when you know where you're at with this, you can get it. Now that's the first stage in this cut. The next stage in this cut, and I'm going to do it now with the clipper. The last time I did it with the shear. I'm going to take the hair out at a 90 degree, all right? This is my guide, because the head curves in, the area at the parietal line, even though I'm holding my comb straight up, is still going to be slightly longer. This is my guide. So I'm following that guide at the tip of the ear. So you see that coming in shorter, this time with the clipper as opposed to the shear. Again, there's my guide, straight up, staying at the lower ridge. That's why I teach you every single part of the head form. I'm going to take it around to the other side, turn it this way so you can see it. This is my guide. That last haircut at the lower ridge is my guide. But you see that even though I'm holding the comb straight up, the hair at the parietal line, because it curves in, there's your why, is slightly longer. Okay, so we've been talking about doing a fade. We're still working on the area below the parietal line, but we're talking about doing a fade. Just cleaning this up. This is wanting to curve on me, so I'm taking it at a different angle while I'm trying to teach this at the same time. So you see that again, hair right there. Now I'm following the tip of the ear. Now that I'm at the back of the head, once I get the area right here behind the ear, I start following the tip of the ear as opposed to the lower ridge. So this continues on with that fade. And I'm just going to take that off right there. And now I want you to see something. I want you to see what happens when I go horizontal. You can see a hard line there. That's why it's always good when you're doing this to try and go vertically, because you don't necessarily want that hard line right there. All right, so now what I'm going to do, students, I'm going to take it to the skin. I'm going to follow the same line. I'm not changing. This is part of you learning how to do a fade. It doesn't just happen. You've got to learn the procedure and the steps for it, and after a while it comes natural. You see it, you look at it. So on this mannequin, I'm going to brace, I'm going to take it up, and then I'm going to carve out. Again, tip of the ear. It's not different. Staying within that lower ridge. And sometimes I have to turn my clipper to get it to do what I want it to do. And you're going to be doing the same thing depending on the direction of hair growth. Alright? So you see me carving out. Now this time I'm bringing it up. I'm going above the nape line. On this side, I'll stay at the nape line for you to see what I'm talking about. Let's see this. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit here. Let's see if you know exactly where that lower ridge is at. And then we travel down to the tip of the ear. Once we get to the area behind the ear, right here, then you're going to start traveling down into that occipital. Look at people that have got fades. You'll see that just automatically come down. Okay, so same thing here. Parietal line, travel around, doesn't change. And you see that automatically fade in as I do my clipper on its side like that. It gives it a nice fade. Okay, this time I'm following the nape line, just for you to see the difference. Now on the other side, you see where it's a little higher. Okay, tip of the ear, right there. On this side, we followed, stayed there, but we followed the nape line instead. I'm going to go ahead and take it up. It's not that much more, but bottom line, some people, there's your variable. Some people will want it only to follow the nape line, and that's how tight they want it down here at the nape line, but they don't want the rest of it to be quite that thin or that tight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my comb is my guide. I'm going to hold it out at a slight angle, see it? And I'm going to start getting rid of only this corner. And see, we're cleaning it up. See how that smooths back into it? Okay, I'm just going to take, I want to make sure that you see it, so I keep wanting to go the other direction, because it's easier for me to see it. So, okay, and you see that fade in real nice. It combs in nice, fades right in. I'm just going to clean that up a little more. But because I keep the clipper at an angle, the rest of it stays longer. So I'm traveling around it, cleaning it up still. And again, you see the roundness of the head coming there. You see that roundness? It's almost at a point. So I'm going to come over to the other side, and you still, even with this, you go side to center, and you notice that I'm holding the comb out, and this is where I would determine, do I want it this length, do I want it this length, do I want it this length? And I'm going to do that for you to see this crawl up and become shorter. All right, now with that length, now we're going to go a little bit tighter on it. See how I'm not pulling it out as much. I'm letting kind of the head do some of the work for me. And see that coming in. Even as nasty as this mannequin is, I hated these mannequins when they first showed them to me. I thought, what is wrong with you people? Terrible mannequins to work with. And then we're supposed to teach the students how to use them. These are definitely not real people. And all I'm doing right now is, again, I see a corner. And you see that corner right there? It's right there. See it? I'm going to pull it out for you. There it is. Short, short, long. Now it's gone. And that's how you clean that up. Now what I'm going to do is, now we're going to go even tighter. I'm going to take it just slightly below. Like I said, going straight up, I'm going to pull my clipper guard up a little bit. Take it straight up. So that's how you carve and work into it, to fade that cut in. Now if I can take this and make it look like a fade, what do you think you can do with the regular haircut? You see I'm bringing that down, blending it with that other hair. Again, just bring it, see my clipper is coming straight up. I'm not changing that. See that cut? The clipper is coming straight up. I'm not going around the head. I'm coming straight up on the head form. Keep coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. There you go. But usually what I do on this is I just bring this out and clean it up. It's quicker, it's easier. I got a corner right there. Get rid of that corner. And again, you see that nice fade coming in. And it's coming in clean. Alright? So I'm going to go over to the other side now, do the same thing. Again, clean that up. Now here's the decisions that are going to be made once we're at the parietal line. Do we want to part? Do we want one side much shorter than the other? Do we want to take this and pompadour it? Do we want to just make it a flat top? What do we want to do with that area above the parietal line? And again, see those sticking out? Well, there's my guide right next to it. I pull it up so it looks a little bit layered. And again, see the head curves in right here. It curves in. So all of this hair is going to start looking slightly longer above that lower ridge. Most especially at the center occipital, right there at the vertex. So see, all you have to do is you look at it, you go, okay, that comes off. And you take your time with it. Look at what you're cutting, because once it's gone, you can't put it back. It's done. Okay, bring this up. Bring it up. I'm not traveling around the head. My clipper is still going straight up, as you can see. Straight up. I'm going to hold that so it'll cut it. And I don't like creating these hard lines, but this mannequin is not the easiest to work with. And it doesn't seem to matter what quality wall clipper you get. You're going to have the same problems. Okay, so you see, he's really come up, or she has, whatever. But when I want to clean it, again, I'm keeping my clipper straight on with it. Clean it up. I see a spot here. Clean it up. And I'm staying right at the tip of the ear. I'm not traveling up to the parietal line, staying below the lower ridge, and then carving out. Okay, so now the decision here is, what are we going to do? She's a little bit longer in the front now because we've taken this length off back here. But you can see that she's pretty much a 180. Do you see what I'm saying? This is 180 side to side. This is 180 front to back. And look, it's all the same length. So what are we going to do with this? Is she just going to wear it, comb off to the side? How do we create this corner here? What is it that we need to do to create the corner? Let me find my shear. Okay, I've got mannequins and stuff all over the place. Here it is. Okay, in order to create that corner, you're not going to pick it up and make a corner. You actually, on the top of the head, you've got this corner and you've got this corner. It's actually a slight rectangular shaping. So if you take all of this hair, now, and that's where we're going to determine how far back do we take it. If it's really long, you can take it all the way back to the parietal line on this corner. Now remember, how do you determine that corner? Well, there you go, right there. See it? That's the corner. So, and it's just right at, you know, where the ear flops, right there. There it is. Okay. So we're not going to take it and comb it down and try and make a corner out of it. All right, that's too hard a line. We want it to look natural. We want it to lay nice. So I'm going to pick up this corner and this corner. In other words, the corner at the parietal line here, the corner at the parietal line in the back. I'm going to comb it, and this styrofoam doesn't like to hold very well, so I'm going to comb it, and I'm going to bring it like I'm going to make a ponytail back here. But being that this has already been done, I'm doing it slightly right at the vertex, right at the apex line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right there. Just took off that much hair, and you can already see that corner just happens by itself. Now I'm going to wet this so you can see it, because I'm not going to be doing any more clipper work right now. You never use your clipper on wet hair unless you want to be replacing your blades all the time. I know a lot of people do it. I've seen them on videos. I just don't. There you go. And you can already see that there's this nice, I'm going to get, see, this is all we took. Took this from the parietal line, took it back. So there's your corner right there. So it's going to come here. Now, what are we going to do with the back? What is it that we want to do with that back? Well, do we want volume? If we want volume back here, we've got to do front to back, don't we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to part it. Okay, you can kind of see the corner a little better right there. See that come in? So that just comes right into a really nice corner all by itself. Because what we did, we created length here. When hair travels, it does what? This hair traveled way back. All right? More than this hair traveled. So we took it at an angle and brought it back. So you can really see that line. So what we want to keep that line. So we want to take this that we've just done and we're going to move it forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to cut it front to back. And if I hold it straight up, that hair that's just been faded up, there's my guide. Do you see that guide? I'm going to cut it front to back. And what's that going to do? Give it volume. You can already see it standing up by itself. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you cut it side to side. See it coming down? When this will stand up. This will stay right up with it. So do it front to back for maximum volume here. So when they bring it forward, you've still got that slight lift. Here's the other question. What do we do with this? Do they want it really faded up so we can see the part? All right, so if they do, then you're going to do scissor over comb. 1, 2, let the comb travel. 3, and you'll see your guide in back of the comb, believe it or not. You can see that hair. See that hair? It's right behind the comb. So then we're going to take this with your shear, slowly travel, cut, 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 cut. And then where we have to be careful of is the cowlicks in this area. So if you have a lot of cowlicks there, what we want to do then, we want to take our texture shear. The texture shear is not used enough. Always dry your shear after you use it. Just make it a habit to the point of you didn't know you already did it. I have another mannequin there that I want to be showing you in just a minute that we did an extreme corner on. Okay, so now we want this to travel in that direction. The teeth of the texture shear is going to give you the direction that you want. So I'm going to bring that forward. Now see, no matter what I do, that goes in that direction. I want this to go back. So get my arm out of the way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I got some cutting I got to do there. Let's move that in that direction. There you go. It's starting to go right there for you. Exactly what you want. Now, where you have to be careful of is cowlicks. Because if they have an extreme cowlick, and that's at the vertex, always at the vertex line, slightly above the parietal line. If they have an extreme cowlick, it's going to fight you. It's going to want to go forward. So remember, if it's growing forward, you need to try and take it back, and you might just have to try and take it real tight right there, where you bring this line all the way into that. Oops, I don't want that going forward. Into that cowlick. So let's say that we want a part. We want to put a part right here. Okay, there you go. Now that's traveling better. So now what I'm going to do is I'll get my clipper again. And this is where you would use your edgers, but I'm going to use the clipper. Bring it all the way down. Turn it on. And then we're going to just tap it. And this hair is trying to go up a bit. Probably those little kids across the street. So you can see now that we have created a part line. And you can comb that in. Take this maybe a little bit tighter. And then now we have our part line in there. So you see the haircut goes all the way forward. Now what I'm going to do How much time do we have, cameraman?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it a flat top. So you're probably going to see it a lot more. I'm going to leave a little bit there, but I'm going to bring it, and I want the longest point to be here. I want this to be the same length up here above the parietal line. My comb is held perfectly horizontal. And again, front to back. And there's my guide. You see my guide? There's my guide. It just fell down. And I'm staying right at the apex. And I'm going to bring this up to cut, that up to blend. Turn the mannequin around, and I want it front to back. Okay. So now let's say that I want this scattered a bit. I'm going to get rid of that corner right there, and that's at our part line. I'm going to wet this for you to see what it's going to do. There. It's scattered. We've got it pumped up in the back, shorter in the front. So the variety that you can do with these mannequins is outrageous. So much that you can do. Let's say that we just want it popping up all over. That he says, I want this to just comb, I want this to be able to take it to the side. There's my guide. I'm going to cut it side to side this time. And I want you to see. And again, there's my guide, getting rid of the corner. There we go. Let's get rid of this corner. We got 5 minutes, students, so I'm doing this real quick.
2.5.
2.5 minutes. All right, so he says, I just want this to come back. I want it to look nice. And the one thing I want to show you when I'm finished right now, again, we want this just to come back. He wants it to look good. Get rid of this corner where we pop that up a bit. He wants to comb it to the side. He wants to look like a businessman. And there you go. But if he wants to pop it up, he can. All right, so what I wanted to show you on these mannequins, this is why I don't like them. You see it? I'm going to be getting rid of this, and I had to put it here. This is what the students used to have to go through. I have another one that I'll be showing you on the next video. Do not put it on your face. They can be very dangerous, but you really can't breathe if you have one of these. But see how cool that does look as it pops up. A little bit of gel would really make it do even more. But yeah, take care. See you in the next video.